What innocently started as just a simple spring cleaning somehow turned into a complete overhaul of my creative space and small business setup. Hey everyone, I'm Jackie from Adam Hart Cross Stitch, and this week's video is going to be a little bit different. It's going to be more of a vlog style, or at least my attempt at a vlog style video, as I decided to completely overhaul my office and small business space over the week. I don't know what it is about March and the coming of spring, but I woke up on March 1st and thought, I really should reorganize the way things are set up. My business, Adam Hart Cross Stitch, is turning 5 this year, and I have completely outgrown the space I've been in. Not only do my husband and I share an office space, but it's my spot for creating, filming, editing, storing my business inventory, and packing orders every single day. Now, it's a pretty small space on top of that, and we've just been making it work because that's what you do. And we do have plans to eventually do a small remodel and add an extra office space in the house, but I have no idea when that's going to be. It could be this year, it could be 5 years from now. So I really just wanted to kind of revamp the way things are done. Now, because we know that we are going to eventually do a small remodel and add an additional office space in our home, I did not want to spend a lot of money on new furniture for this space because I just really want to make use of what I have and not do anything too permanent when I know that we're going to be making changes down the road. By far, the biggest investment I made was to purchase a dedicated packing station for my small business. And this is something I've been eyeing and thinking about for a while, but I just really wasn't sure where it would go or where we would have the space. And I finally just decided I'm moving to the garage. All my business related stuff will go in the garage. I will sacrifice parking my car in there so that I can just really have a dedicated space that can contain all of the inventory and products, and also give me more space so that I can really start expanding the things I offer in my shop, which is a really big goal that I have this year. So come along with me as I show you my new space. Hey everyone. Okay, I'm not much of a vlogger, so this feels very unnatural for me, but I, like many things, just kind of get the itch to make a big giant change, and then I'm just gonna jump all in. It is a Sunday morning. I'm in my pajamas. Yeah, I, as a business, have officially grown out of my office space, so I am gonna be moving all my business stuff into my garage. I've already started frantically moving stuff to kind of start organizing, but I figured because I put everything else online, I should be vlogging this and putting this online as well. So let's go take a look. Very grateful. We have a 3-car garage. Half of our garage is kind of just stuff, and then I do have a lot of my business stuff stored here, like excess inventory, but then I also have, a lot of my sewing stuff because I don't currently have space for any of my sewing stuff in my office. So the goal is to kind of take everything hobby related, sewing supplies, quilting, cross stitch, all that stuff, crochet, have everything in my office space, have that be more of a craft room, and then move everything business related here to the garage. So I'm gonna have a packing station here. I will now claim all this space, and then we're gonna add more shelving units here where my car would normally be parked. I'm gonna give up my car being parked in the garage, park outside, and then we're gonna add more shelving units here to be able to store our, personal stuff, camping gear, sports gear, all that kind of stuff, but then add extra shelving for more of my business supply storage that is currently in my office, which I will show you next. All right, midday check-in. So now in my dining room, everything that is sewing or crafting related that was in my garage is now in the dining room. How long will it live there? We don't know. Now to show you guys my current office setup, it's a mess. But right now, you know, this is kind of my husband's corner. He has an office outside of the house, but he still needs like kind of a home base. But it's a mix of supplies for the shop and then kind of my workstation, yarn, threads. It's just kind of a mishmash. I have shelves down there just packed to the brim. And then more store inventory. This is kind of my current packing station. Anytime I film YouTubes, I clear all of this off. I pull the table out and film behind there. So it's just not convenient. And then again, back here, just filled to the inventory with business stuff. So the new vision is I will have this table will live here, but it will be for crafting, for filming, and just kind of be a permanent filming setup. Anything related to the shop is gonna live in the garage. So a quick setup of where we currently are in the garage. The shelving unit that was here has been emptied and moved. I will be putting a new packing station here. I am going to do some pegboard in that corner there because that is how I store some of my inventory. I've got all my boxes and backstock is piled up here still. This shelf will remain pantry items, but will eventually get organized. And then here is that shelving unit from the other side has been moved there. I'm gonna start loading this shelf up. I also have a shelf all the way down here. I'm gonna start loading these up to kind of clear the other side off and then try to get this pile of stuff organized. The vision ultimately is to have another row of storage units here. It will be like a little bit narrow to walk through, but we'll just, again, storage is the name of the game. So that is the midday update, end of day one update. Dining room is still the same pile of craft stuff. That will be the last thing to get organized. Office is slightly cleared out. We've got that rack gone. The rest is just still really a mess. Lots of good progress in the garage. All of this is basically cleaned and ready. I've got a lot of my inventory kind of here. I'll be putting the packing station there tomorrow, and then just adding more of my inventory all throughout here. And then this pile of stuff is contained. Again, I've got a lot of my shipping supplies over on this side. And then all of this kind of stuff will eventually be moved into additional shelving racks that we'll put here. I actually got kind of impressed how much I got done in one day. I think tomorrow we'll also get a lot done, so I'll continue to check in. It's Monday morning. My new table is here. So we're gonna go ahead, get everything assembled, the pallets out front. So excited. All right, so packing table is finally assembled. I thought that would maybe take an hour or two. It took like 5 hours. It's 2 o'clock in the afternoon. All right, it's now near the end of the day on Monday. My memory card ran out of space earlier and I was just too tired and busy to deal with it. So here we are. I think I have basically everything business related out of here. So now I've got this nice big blank wall. This is basically just a standing desk. It can actually go up or down, which is really nice. It will be my filming and then also my, cutting and crafting station. It's going to be moved over here. And then I'll be getting this all set up to be a nice backdrop for when I'm filming. Very excited to get that set up. I've got my printers set up there. I think we are going to mount a TV there, but we'll figure that out later. This is all a mess and needs to be figured out still, but let's go check out the garage. Zero progress on the dining room, to be expected. That will be the last thing to get organized. But here we are in the garage. Here is the packing station. I do need to add a couple different accessories, but I just want to use this for at least a week or two to just figure out exactly what I need and how I'm going to use the space. I'm going to be adding one of the pegboard panels there to store inventory. Got a lot of inventory here. Again, none of this is its final state. It's just a starting point, just kind of like an initial functional starting point. But I'll be adding a couple more accessories there. I do need some more lighting in here. And then over on the other side of the garage, I'll be getting, again, some additional racks. So yeah, that packing station is amazing. So much harder to put together than I was anticipating. But now that I have my office cleared out of all like my store related things, I'll be able to start getting it more organized to be an actual like office and crafting room. All right. It's still Tuesday night, but I actually made a lot more progress in the office than I thought I would. So I've got my desk here in the corner now, and then my table, some shelving. My big goal with the office was to actually not need to buy any new furniture. The only thing I purchased was that little printer table. But I just really want to make use of everything I have. Some shelving there, which will kind of, that's an ugly wire shelf, but it's okay because it's hidden by the door when it's open. And then, yeah, this will be filming station, cutting table. I'll have like a nice cool background behind me. I'm excited to get that all set up. And then I'll have all that pegboard space for organization, which is awesome. And I wanted to pause here real quick to talk about the pegboard wall in general, because I do get a lot of questions that come in about it on my videos. So I pulled some old footage because I had posted about this on TikTok while I was doing it, but I started with 3 pegboard panels that you can buy at Home Depot. I did put 2 coats of primer, and then the vision was to paint them following a cross stitch pattern. I used the motifs from this garden glass pattern from Carolyn Manning, and this was such a trial and error process. If any of you were there for the documentation of this, you may remember, but I went through so many iterations of painting this. I started with a completely different pattern, just using color, no black outlines, and I just hated it. And then I finally kind of landed on the stained glass motifs, but again, hated it once it was filled in with color. And that's how I kind of landed on just doing the outline in black and just having the black and white. I love the way it pops. I just love how it turned out, and it's super beautiful on its own, but because it is a little bit more of a simple design, it works really well also to hang stuff up on it, which was a big goal when I made it. I'm exhausted. I think most important thing now is to just really get my computer set up because I'll need it in the morning. So yeah, that's the next step. Right, Tuesday morning check-in. Got my monitor and computer at least all set up in this area, nice and clean, which is very nice. Still have to figure out this whole little corner. It's early, obviously. Today's a very busy day. I'm gonna be out of the house for a good portion of it, so I don't know how much I'm gonna get done, but hopefully we can make a big dent. Hello and welcome to day 4 of my office redo adventure. I didn't check back in yesterday because, again, I was out of the house most of the day, but I did make a lot of progress. The big objective now, I have this pegboard here. It's not big enough to fit all of my yarn. I like having my yarn caked and on display like that because, again, if it's out of sight, it's out of mind. So the goal today is to move all the yarn from there to this side. But before I do that, I want to go through all of the other yarn I have collected and cake it, which is one of my least favorite things to do, but we're gonna do it and then we're gonna get it all up on the wall. I really can't even fathom how my yarn gets into such a messy pile of knots, but that's kind of why I like to have it caked, because otherwise that's what it turns into. Speaking of caking your yarn, this thing seemed like it would be really straightforward to use. It's been years since I've used it. Couldn't figure it out for the life of me. Finally realized it was missing a critical part of the setup to be able to work. So I found that, got it attached. And it still took me a while to figure it out, but you know what? Finally got there. This video is super sped up, and even with it being sped up, you can see just how often I have to stop and detangle the yarn. I just really feel like at this point in time, we should have figured out a better way to wind crochet or knitting yarn, whatever it is, so that it doesn't tangle up, but I don't know. Who am I? Now for the fun part, just playing around and getting everything organized and set up. I'm sure I'll make changes to this eventually, but for a starting point, I'm pretty happy with how it is looking. All right, so it is Thursday morning. I think I'm atrociously bad at this vlogging thing because I honestly can't remember what was the last thing I filmed and what update I gave, but this will be the final kind of progress update for this video. Obviously, I will probably do like a final tour of everything once it's like fully dialed in, but I know that will probably take me a little bit longer, but this is what we're working with so far. So here, the desk area, I've got this pegboard all reorganized, my desk fully cleared off, which is amazing. Best feeling ever. Nothing too fancy. Again, this was one of the few things I bought for the actual office space because my goal really was to not make any big furniture purchases, but I got this kind of printer stand that fits under the desk, which is really nice. The pegboard here behind the desk, I just really tried to keep limited to like the things I'm constantly reaching for. A lot of these floss drops and threads are what I use when I'm taking like product photos, so I just like to have them out. A lot of the stickers that I use in the shop, filming supplies, pens, you know, again, just the things I'm kind of always reaching for. And then I've got all the space in the corner, which is really nice. This is just kind of still a pile of stuff that doesn't have a home. Same with this. And then just kind of all my pegboard supplies as I continue to get things organized. Over here on this wall, I'm sure I'll end up making some tweaks, but I am pretty happy with it right now. I've got all my caked yarn up there. Down in these cubbies, I'll have like my full skeins of yarn. This was really like the only thing left. I just did not have it in me to detangle this and get it caked yesterday. But I'll have, you know, full skeins there. All my crochet whips will be stored in a cedar chest in my bedroom, which is good. I won't have space for them here. And then everything at this point, I won't say it's organized, but it's just kind of being placed where it will eventually live. So my pride and joy, my DMC wooden chest. And then I've got kind of like all my Cricut supplies down here, which is nice. I need to go through, this is like all my scrap cross stitch fabric. Again, I save everything because for filming videos, it's really nice having scrap fabric. So I need to go through and organize that. Same with everything down here. I've got some needlepoint stuff, more cross stitch fabric that needs to be organized. These are all of my cross stitch whips. They're in project bags. And then again, I need to go through, this is all my batting. It needs to be organized. Here will eventually be all of my pattern storage. So I'll have a binder for sewing patterns, crochet, plastic canvas, and cross stitch. I'm very excited to organize that. I will have a dedicated video for that. So then this is the only other piece of furniture I bought for this space. This is actually a wrapping paper caddy, but I really needed something for all of my really tall upright things, especially tripods. So all my tripods will go here. These are really long pieces to a scroll frame. This is vinyl that I use for my project bags. So just kind of like all those bulky, tall things that won't fit anywhere. This is what I got. So I'm really stoked about that actually. And then more wall organization. I've got hoops and a few small finished cross stitch pieces. And then I'm really just loving this. I've got some needlepoint threads, sulky threads, more needlepoint threads, some shelving units, my crochet hooks, scissors. So I am very much need to see it to know I have it person, which is why I am just loving having everything out like this on the pegboard. For all of these pearl cotton skeins and sulky threads, I bought these little pegboard hooks. So these are really nice. They're a lot shorter than the ones I normally use, and they're slightly angled. So I think these are working out perfect for that. And then everything back here is kind of a mess. Essentially, this will be all kind of like just bits and bobs, arts and crafts stuff. This is not organized at all. So this whole thing needs to be done. And then all of my sewing stuff will live here. I was initially gonna move this one pegboard panel to the garage, but it's just gonna work out so well for sewing supplies that I'm leaving it, and I'm just gonna buy one panel to put in the garage because I do need it for my store inventory. But I'm loving having all my rulers up there. None of this is organized. It's just a matter of kind of putting things where they belong. So that is kind of the 360 view. I just really am so excited, but I think that's all looking really nice. So now to yet another pile of doom in my dining room, but I actually have so little left. So these are my cross stitch, not my cross stitch. This is just kind of my crochet whips. I have a cedar chest upstairs that these will go in. So that's kind of sorted. It just needs to be put away. This bin down here is some fabric and sewing projects. So when I go through my sewing corner, I will go through that to figure out where everything goes. And then this last little pile, this is more just like the random arts and crafts stuff. I've got paint, I've got dye, beads, buttons, foam, like just all the little things. So a lot of this will get organized in that set of drawers in my office. It just kind of needs to be gone through. This is a portable sewing table. I don't think I'm going to be keeping this. I don't have a spot for it. I don't really use it. So that will be going away. Say hi to Stella. Hi, Stella. Hi, Gertie. They're so cute. And then the garage slash now my small business spot. It's not fully dialed in, but it's fully functional right now, which is really all that matters. But there is the packing table. Again, that was the largest investment that I made for this whole project, but I am really, truly loving it. You know, I think I'm definitely gonna work in the space for a while before I get things fully dialed in. I just like to spend a lot of time with a space before purchasing too many things, organizing too many things. But right now, this is really working out so nice. I've got all my labels here, tape dispenser, all my like packaging supplies, everything's in one spot. So I can do all my inventory and all my packing all here, and everything's near me. Before it was, you know, I had a lot of my inventory in the office space with half of my packaging supplies, and then all my back stock would be here in the garage. So it was just constant back and forth. And now I'll just be in one spot, and it's super duper exciting. Again, I need some more shelves here to like really get all my products like nice and organized, but we'll get there eventually. And we'll also get to a space where I'm gonna have a lot more space to be able to start adding a lot more products to the shop, which is the ultimate goal. So that's kind of the new Adam Hart cross stitch creative space and business space in a nutshell. You know, I didn't get all of it done in 5 days, but I actually got a huge amount done. And at least at this point, everything's like functional, which is what really matters the most. Now, I won't say everything behind me is fully organized yet, but it is all starting to find a home, and that is exciting. Now, I really love watching other people's videos where they give tours of their crafting rooms and small business areas. So I definitely wanted to give you all a little bit of a glimpse into the chaos that has been happening and how I've kind of been thinking through the way I want to organize the space. Thank you all so much for watching. If you have any tips or tricks or ideas after watching this video, things you think I should implement, please let me know in the comments. I am all ears. If you have questions about any of the things I showed in this video or items that I used, please do let me know. I will do my best to also link to anything that I can in the video description. And if you're like me and really need to see things to know that you have them, I really do highly suggest a pegboard panel, if not a whole wall like I have here. I think this has been like the best thing I've done in this space. If you like this video and want to help support my channel, please do all the good things, like, comment, and subscribe. Thank you again for being here, and until next time, happy stitching.